What do you want to see him do, day one?
Well, I want to see him pardon everybody from January 6th.
I want him to free our January 6th prisoners.
Right away. I hope that happens right away.
Pardon all of them?
Yes, all of them.
Really?
Yes.
This guy's shooting a gun outside the Capitol. Should he be pardoned?
I don't think he should have shot a gun. That's just my opinion.
I know.
That's a little different situation there.
Call me old-fashioned. This guy with a gun shooting a gun outside the Capitol?
No, most definitely he should not be pardoned.
Do you pardon everybody from January 6th?
I think majority of the people should be pardoned, honestly.
But this guy who stole the podium, should he be pardoned?
Yes, for sure, yes.
I mean, what's that?
Breaking news. Trump's inauguration wasn't actually about Trump. Shocking, right? According to Jordan Klepper's on-the-ground reporting, the real star of the show was a garbage truck? Yep, you heard that right. While Trump was busy schmoozing with billionaires, his supporters outside were getting hyped about sanitation vehicles. Who knew drain the swamp meant bring in the trash compactors? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Now is the time for everyone to fasten their seatbelts because we are about to enter the bizarre world of Trump's pre-inauguration party.
We are for the American people and everybody that encompasses.
I think you're going to need everybody to get together to push out those globalist elites.
Absolutely.
So let's get the richest man in the world from South Africa to come in here and do it.
I completely agree. And making sure that we can actually support our people and not globalist elites.
Stay out, globalist elites.
Absolutely. That is exactly what we want.
Are you excited to see Elon Musk up there?
I am, and MAGA isn't just for one kind of people.
But I think the Gulf of America is a good idea, a good name.
Yes.
Yeah.
And why stop there? I mean, New Mexico, that's horseshit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
People are coming out in support of more nationalist governments.
Picture a sea of red MAGA hats at a veggie rave bobbing up and down like angry tomatoes. This is what you would see. And what is it that is animating them? It was one of those garbage trucks once. Actually, you did hear it correctly. In the land of MAGA, sanitation vehicles appear to be the latest and greatest thing. Using nothing more than his wit and a microphone, our daring explorer Jordan Klepper made his way into the heart of this peculiar celebration. During the course of his conversation with the attendees, he came across some, let's call them interesting ideas about the future of the United States of America. One individual shared a great deal of excitement regarding the Gulf of America. It is more likely than not that he did not attend the geography class in which the Gulf of Mexico was discussed. An additional brilliant individual held the belief that Elon Musk was the answer to the problem of those vexatious globalist elites. After all, who better to exemplify the phrase man of the people than a billionaire who has dreams of establishing a colony on Mars?
They didn't all storm the Capitol. None of them were armed.
Well, some were armed.
Who?
This guy with a gun outside the Capitol, should he be pardoned?
Did he shoot the gun? Is that a real gun or is that a fake gun?
What about this guy spraying a bear spray at the police officer?
Self-defense?
So pardon?
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Oh.
Was that from the same day?
Yeah, that's January 6th. He shot the gun up in the air. Yes.
Yes.
He should be pardoned.
Yes.
Because?
Yeah, I think he should be pardoned
Why?
because I don't think he should be,
The real kicker, however, was Klepper's question about whether or not the rioters from January 6th should be eligible for a pardon. In terms of adaptability, the answers were more flexible than a yoga instructor at a pretzel factory. It was remarked by one woman that they were just tourists. Since there is nothing that screams tourism more than stealing podiums and smashing windows, the answer is yes. It was all Antifa, exclaimed a different individual. To answer your question, yes, I am the Queen of England. In tandem with the growing excitement, the anticipation for the big day also increased. As if they were children on Christmas Eve, Trump supporters would have been practically jumping for joy if Santa Claus had promised to build a wall around the North Pole. One of the women exclaimed, "It's going to be huge," while another woman remarked, "The liberals are going to cry," mainly due to the fact that it appears that in the world of MAGA, it is a sign of success to upset your fellow American.
This is outside the Capitol.
January 6th?
Yeah. Have you not seen this image?
No, I have not seen that.
Have you seen any of these images?
Some of them, but not these.
Really?
Maybe the media that I'm following is not showing these.
In the end, it didn't matter because Trump just pardoned this guy and 1,500 of his friends. But this weekend is about joy. What media do you follow?
All conservative.
Did you watch the January 6th hearings?
No, I didn't, no.
Okay. So this is new.
So that's my fault. I should have been better informed, yes.
I will say that's a refreshing thing to hear.
During the course of his investigation, Klepper came across a disparity between Trump's assertions and the reality of the situation. This is the most unfortunate aspect of the situation. With complete confidence, one of Trump's supporters exclaimed, "Trump is going to drain the swamp." Klepper brought up the fact that Trump's cabinet was filled with Wall Street executives, and the man simply blinked and exclaimed, "Fake news!" when he heard this information. Whatever move you make, a pigeon will simply knock over the pieces, poop on the board, and strut around as if they have won. This will happen regardless of what you do. Trying to play chess with a pigeon is a terrible idea. After what seemed like an eternity, the day of the inauguration arrived, and it was an absolute blast. The arrival of our man Klepper at the National Mall was accompanied by the anticipation of a sea of red hats and chants about restoring the greatness of the United States. Instead of that, he found what seemed to be a birthday celebration that had been postponed temporarily. Oh, what a letdown the situation is. Are you aware that Grumpy Trumpy had been boasting about the large crowds that he had been able to attract? Upon further investigation, it was discovered that the only thing that was truly substantial was the amount of vacant space. The game of MAGA football could have been played outside without causing any injuries to anyone. It's possible that Trump's ego was just being deflated, but the atmosphere was so quiet that you could still hear a pin drop. Klepper, being the inquisitive creature that he is, proceeded to strike up conversations with the few individuals who did arrive. I can state with absolute certainty that they were more confused than a vegetarian competing in a barbecue competition. While trembling like a chihuahua in a snowstorm, one man said, "I thought there would be millions of us here. Where is everyone?" The unfortunate individual gave the impression of having been cheated on by Lady Liberty alone. During that time, our esteemed leader was inside, and it is highly likely that he was drinking champagne with his friends who were billionaires. Is it outside? He did not pay attention to those who were faithful to him. To put it literally, this situation was akin to a bizarre version of the game of musical chairs, with the exception that Trump's promises ended on a negative note rather than the music coming to an end. However, hold on everyone, there was still a certain amount of tension. An individual yelled out, "The garbage truck has arrived." It was like Christmas morning all of a sudden for these people who are dedicated to the MAGA movement. There were people who were craning their necks in order to get a glimpse of this infamous automobile. Who would have thought that a garbage collector could be the unexpected star of the show at a presidential inauguration? It's like getting excited about a hot dog that's only halfway eaten when you're expecting a meal that's worthy of 5 stars. After the day progressed, it became clear that Trump had not promised a lavish coronation for the upcoming president. In addition, the low turnout and the decision made at the very last minute to move the ceremonies indoors served to further emphasize the disparity between the claims made by Donnie Diapers and the reality of the situation. In place of the high-budget movie premiere that he had promised, he delivered a flop that was released directly to DVD. It appears that our friend Jordan Klepper was able to get a front row seat to the clown show that took place during the weekend of Trump's inauguration, which turned out to be quite the circus. On the other hand, the MAGA garbage truck at least showed up. Isn't that correct? In all honesty, there's nothing that says "Make America Great Again" more enthusiastically than getting excited about garbage collection. On the other hand, let's be honest, the entire alternative facts debate has had a significant negative impact on political participation. It would appear that we are currently residing in a world in which garbage trucks have replaced Air Force One, and reality is a matter of choice. Who needs a real policy when you can just make things up with your own creativity? When we talk about fabrication, we should mention that the presidency of Donald Trump was like a never-ending episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway?, in which the facts remain irrelevant and everything is made up. Nevertheless, it does a good job of keeping things interesting, doesn't it? Remember, folks, that if something appears to be too good to be true, whether it be in politics or in life, it is most likely a bunch of bullshit. This truth applies to both situations.